Welcome, everybody. I'm your host, Taladia Plays, and this is Peacemaker Season 2, Episodes 1 to 5 breakdown and review. I'm joined by a special guest, of course. My special guest today is Dave, the Film Junkie. Welcome, good sir.
Hey, what's happening? How's it going, man?
I'm good. Thanks for taking the time out of your day to
Yeah,
come
no
on my
problem.
channel to talk about Peacemaker. And honestly, I haven't, I never saw Peacemaker Season 1, so I went in this
Really?
blind.
Oh, so you
Yeah,
have no idea? Like, oh, okay. So you didn't watch season one? Interesting. Why didn't you watch season one?
I was just like I don't know. It was just in me. It was just like not
Yeah,
really it.
yeah. You didn't really. Yeah, you weren't really a fan of the character.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't because of the character. It was more
Uh-huh.
so that the way they were going,
Oh,
and
gotcha.
I was just like, no, see season 1. I'm not gonna like because season two already. It retcon things.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's really much. It's kind of funny because now that we're in this new phase, this DCU now, I guess you really don't need to because they just that first episode does a recap and it retcons some things. And I mean, essentially, all you had to know there was like a alien weird invasion thing that was going on, and they stopped it, and that's pretty much it. I don't know. There's not really much, not much there besides actually just seeing all what happened. But yeah, I guess you really don't need to watch season one to understand season two.
Exactly. So we want to say hello to the chat, obviously. So, hey, Jeffrey, welcome.
Oh,
Hey, Tavia, welcome. And hello, Hero's Journey. And, it's great to see you guys here. So, but Phil, why am I calling you Phil? I meant to call you. I don't know. It's just one of those things that I've had today. But Dave, I got to ask you, like, you've seen season 1.
yeah.
From your comparison from season 1 to season 2, what did you like most about season 1?
Season. I mean, I think season one surprised me mainly because I was going, are they seriously going to do a series on Peacemaker? Really? Because I didn't really, I mean, the character worked for the Suicide Squad, but it was just because he essentially ended up being the bad guy. So I didn't understand why they would do a series on him, even though it was James Gunn doing it. But watching it, I actually, they made the character kind of, likable. John Cena is likable, and in the action, there's some moments in there that just got pretty crazy, some pretty memorable moments. And yeah, and then just the way that they progressed the character, when you got to learn the character, I went, oh, okay, I see why they did. Okay, that works. I actually like Peacemaker now. Interesting. I thought I was gonna hate the series, but I ended up I actually really liked it. So I mean,
I'm
good
glad.
on you.
I'm glad you actually liked it. I
Yeah,
mean, for me. Yes, I'm a John Cena fan, but
yeah,
it was like, for me, it was just like season 1. I was just like, there was not much anywhere it was going
yeah,
because the leadership was changing as well at the time. Because I remember, like, I think it was 2021, was it? Like they were making those
yeah,
whole discovery thing and the merger and everything, and I was just like thinking, there's no point in me watching season 1. Forget about
yeah,
that. Focus on
yeah,
the DCU stuff and the future
yeah.
stuff.
Might as well. Yeah, yeah,
So
indeed.
that's what I did. So starting off season 2, then I gotta ask you, the
Okay.
first episode that we hop into, what did you think? And also, what was your dislikes? Because I have some things to say about the first episodes.
The first episode. I mean, obviously, the biggest thing was the recap. The previously on the DCU, that was kind of interesting. I was like, oh, okay, so that's how they're gonna do it. Just hey, this is what it is now, which I was fine with because what are you gonna do? You just I didn't really like that ending with the Justice League showing up and the exchange between Flash and Aquaman. And I didn't, and the fish fucking thing or whatever the hell. It's like, I didn't really like that joke. I was like, well, I mean, I didn't really like it. I'm like, they didn't need to have them show up or anything. Or they could have just had it like the Flash show up or something. I don't know. But when it came to the first episode, it was now I'm trying to remember the first episode. No, but no, I mean I liked it because I went, oh, okay, cool. This is how we're getting into this now. This is where hardcore is. This is where the group is. And we're kind of, getting reintroduced to the characters. And like we were just saying, you really don't need to watch season 1 when they're kind of just reintroducing these characters and you already know where they're at. So I liked the first episode. I'm trying to think of what I disliked, but I can't really think of anything off the top of my head. What do you got? What didn't you like?
So what I liked about is the
Yeah.
reintroduction of the 11th Street Kids.
Yeah.
Right. And I really liked where Amelia Harcourt's head is at.
Yeah. She's all
over the place.
Yeah.
And
toxic
it's like
masculinity.
Yeah, and I'm just like, okay, I see which direction they're going in with her character so far. And then with Chris Smith, I was just like thinking, okay, I'm just wondering what he would do next.
Mm-hmm.
But with Economist, I'm just like, this guy, I have no idea what this guy was actually thinking, but he's now at August, like in an office job, and I'm like thinking, why are you doing there? Try and get yourself back out, right?
Yeah.
And Vigilante is just being awesome as per usual, being the joke and laughter of the group.
Yeah.
The one thing I did dislike of the episode is the fucking orgy scene.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was a controversial scene. Yeah, I mean, it was just one of those where I think what Gunn wanted to do is just create some shock value, create something that, because now that we're about to have the 5th and final season of The Boys, I think he was going for like a bit of a shock value. So yeah, I mean, that scene didn't need to be there, but I think he was going for the shock value, and it worked. A lot of people were talking about it. A lot of people were protesting it and, expressing their grievances about it because, the whole thing of, wait, people are supposed to watch this after watching Superman? What the? And it's like, no, not really. Not supposed to be like that. But, people are. But yeah, it didn't need to be in there. It could have just had something where you had people there and he just tripped out and then went into the pocket dimension, and then that's it. Because it doesn't really move the story at all. It's just something for pure shock value. So I didn't really like it, but I know, again, it still stirred up a conversation, and I think that's why he did it.
Yeah, and I also got I was just like, it's not made for kids. So we're gonna put this out there right now, guys. Peacemaker is not made for kids.
It's not. You don't have to, even though it's going to lead into Man of Tomorrow, I'm sure you're not going to have your kids watch the orgy scene in episode 1. You'll probably just, they'll show some things, they'll connect it nicely. And, in Man of Tomorrow, there'll probably be some connectivity, some scenes that they might put in there that'll be perfectly okay to follow. Or you could just go online and probably they'll post the scenes that actually connect, and you could just show your kids that, and that's it. They don't have to watch the entire season of Peacemaker, and so when people were getting crazy about that.
I mean, what kids can do is skip Peacemaker and hop into Lanterns or Supergirl.
Yeah,
just straight up. That's something that I would recommend for kids, but for non-kids, for us adults, right, definitely for us. I gotta say though, like, the first episode was up there, and I had to give it an 8 or a 9 out of 10.
First episode, 8 or 9 or 10. Something around there. Yeah, I really like. I mean, I was worried that I'm like, all right, are they going to be able to carry some of the magic? How are they going to do the connectivity to the first? And I thought, for them, like I said, I thought that was, just say previously on show that we get a look at the Justice Gang, and it worked. The jokey back and forth thing that they used for the first season works better for Guy Gardner. and then having the connectivity with Rick Flag Sr. and everything, I was like, okay, I think this is going in a right direction. Yeah. So I really, I would give it about a 8.5.
I mean, the first episode we did get the Justice Gang, and yes,
Yeah.
we got thing involved. So
I
that
love
was
the
pretty
fact that
cool.
we actually saw Supergirl flying. That was pretty cool. So we
Wait,
haven't seen her
Supergirl?
fly yet. Huh? Supergirl.
You-
Yeah.
Wait. Oh, okay.
That's how I say, like, when we see the Justice Game, we actually see Supergirl flying
Yeah.
in the distance. Yeah, it was kind of cool to see her actually flying. So that was cool.
Yeah. By the way, we got our special guest from the 11th Street Kid. That is Ronin Unchained.
What's up, muchachos?
Hey, what's happening?
What's happening, brother? So we're just talking about episode 1 so far. Let's
Okay.
hear your thoughts. Let's hear your thoughts on it, because I know that we talked about it on your channel, but my audience haven't heard your thoughts.
I know we finally made it happen. So yeah, I really dug the first episode, although it throws you in. I dug it, but I do feel like it's just a big setup. Like, and I don't mind that. General, well, first of all, can you guys hear me good or no?
Yeah, I can hear you
Yeah,
perfectly.
you're fine.
Okay, cool. I like the first episode. It's just that I've only seen it a couple times, but like I like that immediately. I have a feeling that I'm more focused in on the characters than the plot, and I wasn't fully expecting that. Especially now with TV nowadays, that's so much of like, oh, okay, we're trying to have to get something, have to go somewhere, and like you barely have moments of just people talking to each other. And that was the most part, the first episode, just people talking to each other, and I love that so much.
Yeah.
And I didn't have an issue with them pulling a Don Cheadle Iron Man 2 on us. Just being like, listen, we're in the DCU. This is what's happened. Let's move on. And I was like, okay, I can roll with that as long as what you're making me focus on, I'm gonna care about. And for the most part, I've cared about the characters and what they're dealing with on their own and as a group.
Okay.
That is a good point. We were talking about before he showed up that the whole previously on, and then it's just there, and then you're there, and he hasn't seen the first season, so
No.
and then I was kind of thinking, well, I guess you don't have to unless you want to see all the episodes and see the little alien invasion that happened, sure, but for the most part, anybody's just going in on season 2, they do a really good job of going, here's how it is now, here's the recap, and now we're going this way. And then you're right, it's very character driven.
Yeah. I was, when Talal told me the first time my stream, I was just like, wait, what? You haven't seen season 1?
Yeah.
And so first of all, I freaked out because I don't know if it was going to work for him, but then I was like, oh, this is genius. We can have a perspective of somebody who hasn't seen season 1 and see if they can still care about the characters. And I think for the most part you have.
Yeah.
Which kudos on the actors. I mean, I think for me, the MVP thus far has been Jennifer Holland.
Yeah.
Like, she's just been knocking it out of the park. And again, the fact that like she was Tech 2 lady and the Suicide Squad, and now she's gone through all this stuff. It says a lot about both when James focuses on in dramatic and personal stuff, and not just the yuck jokes, and just letting the people dive into it. And I was really impressed with how much, you more or less do get what was happening and what occurred in season 1. But again, Dave, you and I think we both seen season 1. Like, there's a difference, but you're not. I think for the most part, people haven't been lost on what they've been through as a group and as people.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like, it's character driven, but I also think as well, for each individual character, you feel for them. Like, first episode for me, you felt for Jennifer Holland's Amelia Harcourt, because she was in a limbo state, and you're just like, where is she gonna go? Like, she's got no job.
Yeah. And it's funny because when we first, like you said, when we got first introduced to her in the Suicide Squad, she just was like behind the computer. And there wasn't really much to her character. Like, I didn't really care for her character at all in that movie. And same with Economos. Like, I didn't really care for, I was like, okay, they're there and they're there for the comic relief with Amanda Waller, and I was like, okay, fine. But then when I was like going, wait, she's supposed to be now this, it did. And in the first season, she was kind of one-noted, just I'm bitchy and I'm a badass, and that's pretty much it. We're seeing a lot of range with her this one because there's a lot of emotions, her ties to Rick Flag Jr., the other Harcourt in the other universe, and her relationship with Chris and that complicated factor, and then the fact that we find out, of course, she had a thing with Rick Flag Jr., which I know I'm getting ahead, but now you understand. Yeah, you kind of understand. Oh, this is why she was always kind of like a bitch to him, like she, because of he killed Rick Flag Jr. So
yeah you feel the distance. Yeah, and again, I don't know how you felt, Dave, but like instantly, and this is what was unique about the first episodes, Taladia, is that like she shows up and she's mad and she's at a distance with Chris, and us were like, wait, what happened between the seasons? Besides, the shit that happened in the metaverse of like studios power interchanging, people trying to refocus the universe. But it's like, what happened between these people? And so, like, in a way, they throw us into a loop because I'm like, wait a minute, we went through stuff. We saved the world. Why is there beef? Why not? And then, much like you, we all started getting clues of like, oh, no. For the most part, she had a lid on it in season 1, but now she's at a boiling point where now stuff is affecting her on a personal level, not just as someone who's got to do the job and finish the 9-to-5 task, but like now that the world is closing on her, it's just like, listen, the last thing I want to do is be with people who got me in this space, which is fascinating. And the fact that I think James said that he had that card you mentioned, the whole with Junior, since season 1, I give props because that didn't leak. And that explains a lot, and it makes me understand them more now. Both me wanting to be together and giving them their own personal space.
Yeah, definitely. So moving on to episode 2, because I think we talked a lot about episode 1. What do you guys think about episode 2? Because honestly, for me, it's like there's momentum there from episode 1 into episode 2, and it definitely introduces new characters, and I'm just like, I'm all in for it. So yeah, we'll start off with Dave because I want to hear.
Yeah, I didn't like it as much as episode 1, but I mean, obviously, we got him going into this is when he goes into the alternate dimension and he sees his brother. That's episode 2, right? Is that the first
I believe so. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm getting mixed up on my episodes, but no, it's cool because I mean, those scenes are kind of interesting because obviously we know that Chris's brother died when he was a kid, so we never got to see him, grow up. And then the fact that he's there and the fact that his dad's alive, that he's in this nice home, we're getting introduced to this new world, this other world, this alternate world. Was it the end? It was the end of episode 1 is where the other Peacemaker and him fight, right? And that's how that ended, or was that it was that, right? Yeah. Just trying to remember. I'm trying to remember like how things like the timeline goes. So obviously we had that, and we knew that was going to happen. Somebody was going to die, and it wasn't going to be the Chris that we're following. So having that little, having the fact that they have that little thing. So, but I think there was just some really cool moments when it came to him talking to his brother, having a heart to heart. Those kind of scenes, like I said, going back to the character development stuff. And I mean that's one of the things that Gunn's expressed that he even said that scene has gotten better since season 1, and because he was gonna write him more emotional scenes in season 2, and it was scenes like that, which is really good. So I liked episode 2. I didn't like it as much as the first episode, but it still moved things along nicely.
Definitely. Ronan, I know what you thought about episode 2, but can you reiterate that for my audience so then they know?
Sure. First of all, was episode 2 the one where Chris?
That's the fate. That was the fatality one.
Yeah. It's weird because it started to feel like almost. Again, I keep saying that this season thus far has been more character stuff than plot, but that was the first time I felt like, oh, we're going full Rick and Morty with this, like the doppelgangers and I was like, okay, I don't know where we're heading, but I'm in. Let's just see just stick the landing. By this point, I'm just like, all right, I know what you're working on. Just stick the landing. And yeah, to me, it was the whole family dynamic stuff. The fact that okay, not only did he go to another dimension and almost cussed, turn the tides on a butterfly effect, if you will, of like, yo, you just killed yourself. What the fuck? But then the notion that like, oh, you have a chance to say hi to someone that really affected who you are now. And to me, it was warming my heart. I'm a sucker for brother stuff. And yeah, Dave, like again, I'm not gonna spoil it, but there's a moment in season 1 where Chris is on a mission, a big final mission.
Uh-oh.
I think he's frozen.
He's frozen. He's a little frozen.
But
He's hearing someone he's worked with.
He's coming back. Oh yeah, you froze up a little bit there.
what were you saying?
You're good now.
Ronin? I think it's his connection, but like,
How am I doing now?
All right, you're good now.
You're good.
Okay,
now.
cool.
You're good.
My bad. Damn
Okay.
work internet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to me, what was touching to is that in season 1, there's a moment where he's hearing through an earpiece. Ironic
Yeah.
this. He's hearing someone explain why he feels why said teammate is sad, and starts spilling to his face like, "Oh, this guy keeps bullying me, and like he's not gonna make me feel right." And you just seeing John just be like, the guilt just washed all over him of like, "Fuck, man, I really did it. I did a number on this guy." And seeing what John did in this episode really made me proud of him because again, I followed him since wrestling, and I did see one of his, direct to home movies. I was like, okay, it's it's something, but I could see something working on, and it made me proud and happy for him that he got so much better and expressing himself through a character, and how it's a weird stuff. It's like almost like a Twilight Zone episode of like, oh, what if you got what you wanted, but what does this mean with the group you naturally evolved? It became a better person and found your own new family. And I love the dynamic of like, oh, the life you wanted, but the life you've earned that you built yourself, where do you leave it at? Do you throw one or the other? And I love that cherry, that carrot, just hanging all over Chris the whole time.
It's a good part of the plot of, and then of course when we get to episode 3 where he really embraces it. But no, it's like, yeah, you're right. It's like a carrot out there that's like, and then it's, what do? I was here, but I can't leave here. I got friends here still. I mean, they still try to get together. I think that's the party scene, right? Or was that the first episode? I can't remember. The party scene was the second episode? Yeah.
I think it was the first one.
It was the first. Okay.
Yeah, that was the first.
Not the orgy scene, but when they had the party. Yeah.
Oh, the patio. Yeah. I think that was the second or third episode. Yeah.
I think it was the second episode where they had where they all got together on the patio. I think that was the second episode.
Yeah. It was Adrian's like, did you guys come together one night? Yeah.
It was that because then Chris tries to talk to Harcourt and she of course is still not having it, and then he leaves, and I think that's how it ends, where he just ends up walking through into the other dimension because he's just like, because he did find the phone, right? When he goes in there, he finds the other Chris's phone, and then he takes it back with him, and then he's like realizing that, oh wow, he's seen the pictures and everything. And it's like, since he can't have her in his world, let me go into the other world so I can have her, kind of thing.
Yeah. When that happened, I was shocked more than anything, because like he's stolen somebody's phone and now he's taking his place. And I'm just like, this motherfucker, he's gonna take his place, and this guy's gonna steal your girl now. Like, come on.
But what's also fun is that in these past episodes, again, John Cena's the star, he's the main title, whatnot. Jennifer Holland is MVP. She's doing her thing. We're getting great stuff, in my opinion, from Steve Agee as John Economos, where he's trying to do his best to do his job, but be loyal to his friends. And we get Leo Adebayo trying to be the glue, the Mick Fleetwood, trying to keep the band together, knowing that everybody has to deal their own shits. And So I love that about Daniel Brooks and Steve Agee in the season. That there's way more, stuff being put out for them of like trying to deal stuff on their own, and yet being a team player for the group. And I love the stuff they're giving those two individually.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. But what would you rate episode 2 though out of 10? I'll start with
Maybe
Dave.
like a 7.2. It's not there. It was moving things along. There wasn't anything like, I mean, the first episode had, the retcon, reintroducing characters, orgy scene, and it was just like a lot of like, holy crap, we're back here, man. And then the second episode was just all right, kind of moving things along. But the way that it ends, that's where we go, oh, okay, fuck. The next episode, that's that the next episode's going to be, we're going to see some shit. So I would say like, it's not as good as the first, and then it just kind of moves things along. So, maybe like a 7.2 or something.
Okay, Ronan.
I dug episode 2, and to me they kept getting better and better for me.
Okay.
But having said that, I think episode 2 is also where Eagly does his John Wick moment, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah.
Where he takes out the
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
No, I think that was episode 3, Ronan.
That was
episode 3? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, again, they start teasing stuff already with Eagly of like how he's feeling. And again, I love that like Chris is the conundrum where like I could, see people say that, oh, Eagly's almost like a lost found brother for him. And now he's found his other brother dimension, and where does that leave Eagly at? But I dug episode 2. I maybe give it an 8.5, 9 out of 10. I really dug it, but again, to me, the season we're starting to get better and better once we got to episode 3.
Yeah, for sure. So, myself on comic says, in this instance, Chris gets it first. We see Amelia develop it later after spending time together. So that's what she's saying. And yeah, episode 3 was Eagerly. So yeah, but let's go over to episode 3 because we talked so much about episode 2. Now this episode I digged a lot.
Oh yeah.
Because you had Eagerly, you had the new characters actually getting some dialogue and getting some things in there. Rick Flag Senior, and you got to see Sasha
Joe
Borden.
Kinnaman. Joe Kinnaman, yeah. Dude. I was flipping out. I was like, holy shit, they did it. But then it's like, oh fuck, what does this mean now? Because the context goes a long way, and it's just like I think it was properly used. But please go ahead, Telani.
For me personally, episode 3 was like probably one of the strongest episode, I think, for me, because you're like, what the actual fuck? They brought him back. Like they brought him back out, like, and it surprised me. But what also made it funny is the fact that he's a nerd.
and it was cool too because we get that opening where we find out obviously that Harcourt and him had a thing. And I think a lot of people actually guessed that. I remember I was thinking that too. I think we had discussions on the Vodka stream about that too, where it's like, yeah, it's kind of starting to kind of all click, with Rick Flag Sr. being a part of this. And then you're just kind of going, I think there was even some hints in the dialogue about someone and we just kind of figured, oh, she was with Rick Flag Jr. had to be. And then of course we see, and this is before they go to that location in the Suicide Squad. So it was like, oh, okay, so they confirmed that. But then, once we get into that universe and he's just a big dork, it was funny. I'll give it that. He was funny.
For sure.
Yeah.
Ronan, what did you like? Because I know
it was, I mean, dude, to me, I was so happy with what they gave Joel Kinnaman in the Suicide Squad. It was the Rick Flag I wanted from the comics of what I read. I mean, again, something as simple as like really shipping him as a leader, and something, again, this is so nerdy, but give him something yellow, like a yellow T-shirt, like in the movie and in the show, goes a long way for me because I'm like, okay, that's something that no one made to know. Like, does he really need a bright yellow T-shirt? It's like, yes, he needs it. He's gonna get it. And like father, like son, man. That's like and we'll talk about it later with Senior, but like
Yeah.
Senior had his thing with the princess in Pocolo-san. Again, there's someone else who I theorized was like, I wonder if Junior had an affair with Sol Soria in Corto Maltese, and now I wouldn't. And now this doesn't surprise me that like, okay, he's gonna try it with Hardcore. Yeah, that was a very sweet. And again, the mention of Enchantress, which I was like, I was not expecting that one. I was like, wow, the fact that June Moon is still here, like in essence, still part of canon. Hopefully they update the costume. But
well, that's the thing, though. It's like it doesn't necessarily mean that it's that universe.
Exactly.
Like I wouldn't even think that Rick Flag Jr. is necessarily the same Rick Flag in the first Suicide Squad. We can always just kind of play the multiverse game with it all. When people, especially when you have, fans freaking out about all this stuff, it's like, hey, it's probably not the same. Relax. And when people were making that connection, like, oh, David Ayer's Suicide Squad is canon, I'm like, well, or it's just because those two characters in the book, they it's a noticeable thing. I mean, it doesn't mean David Ayer didn't create that. It's like it's part of the lure of those characters.
Yeah. And we've heard how much James respects David. Yeah. So I wouldn't even be surprised if that was almost a tip to the hat. Like, okay, that thing that you brought up in your movie, I'll make it part canon. But again, I'm not gonna be too. I'm gonna use everything, but that I can use. That's a cool dynamic. And even how he starts to rationalize the affair of like, I'm serious. If I dump her, she's gonna fucking kill me and destroy the whole planet with us. And so I like that. That was cool.
I thought that was cool as well. But I also thought was interesting is that it starts off with that.
Yeah.
That was the shock factor.
It's a good way to hook, it's a good hook to have at the beginning of the episode. Like, oh, and for people, I mean, if people didn't see the Suicide Squad, they might not know exactly what was going on. But I think like if you're paying attention to the dialogue, which I think what James Gunn's done very well with this season, because with the first season, there wasn't really, and this is why when he explains that Peacemaker fits in a spot with the DCEU and the DCU that, so now that it's all complete control, now it was up to him to kind of go, all right, now I got to start like kind of connecting little things just with dialogue. So then I'm not having people to have to do homework, because that's one of the things that he doesn't want to do. I think he's done a good job with the dialogue by kind of mentioning, I mean, even in the last episode, there's mentions of things that connect tissue and stuff, but I think he's been doing a good job with the dialogue and connecting things.
And then
I agree, Dave. Yeah.
I think I agree with you, but also when it gets into this episode, in episode 3, the bird blindness. Now that's a real thing, guys. Bird blindness is a real thing.
Yeah. So, I love Tim Meadows. I love Tim Meadows, man.
Go ahead, Dave. Yeah.
No, I'm just saying. I mean, I watched that when he was on Saturday Night Live. I mean, I was, I was a kid watching that, and I always loved his characters on there. And he just shows up randomly and stuff, and he's great in this. And the bird blindness thing was the bird blind. I was like, wait, I just thought there was like a joke, like he was saying, but then they kept running with it. I'm like, oh, so it's a joke, but it's actually a thing within the world. I thought it's funny. Like at first it threw me off because I went, wait, they're really leaning into this thing, aren't they? It's an actual thing.
Yeah.
and then the people are memeing it, like, and I see it on my feed and everything. So yeah, it's funny.
I think
I like oh, my bad, Tyler, go ahead.
I think there was an advert for bird blindness as well, which I saw on YouTube.
Yes. Yeah. I think James Gunn posted it, I believe. Like, he posted something saying it's a real thing or something.
Yeah. So, what were you gonna say, Ronin?
Oh no, I love how people's reactions better more than the bit itself. Like John being like, "The hell? You can't tell that's an eagle? That's the symbol of America. Like, you think that's a duck?" But I like that. Or even, I think it's even in this episode, probably later on, where like Tim Yadow's character like calls out John. I'll be like, "Are you using my disability against me?" And be like, "Is it funny? Yeah, very. But you almost got titties killed." And it's just like, oh my god, this is ridiculous. This shouldn't be working. But like, part of it's working for me. But it's listen, and Talai knows this. I'm a huge James Gunn fan. Doesn't mean I love everything he does and everything he writes. But even this one, I'm just like, come on, man, like fucking of all the things you could pull, you want to pull this one. And then I encourage people to go watch one of the podcast episodes. I think it's even the whole Joel Kinnaman where he started to start going off on about animals and facts. I'm like, okay, this is where Adrian of this season and this whole bird blindness bullshit is from. It's from this bit over here. I'm like, okay, that makes sense now.
I had no idea that Joel Kinnaman was Swedish and he had kind of an accent until I watched that episode. I watched that episode. I mean, I knew he always had kind of an accent, but I didn't know it was Swedish. And you really, and I've never really just like heard him talk regular because you could still hear a hint of it. It's not a bunch, but yeah, when they were talking about that, I went, holy crap. I thought he had some kind of, because I think when he plays characters, he kind of puts like when he played Rick Flag in Suicide Squad, it almost felt like he had like an East
Southern.
Coast, or a little Southern, East Coast kind of thing. And I was like, so I'd had no idea that he was Swedish and he had an accent. So that was a good episode actually.
Yeah, and I felt like in this episode as well, the fact that Chris Smith, John Cena's character, exploring the other world was very interesting. For example, him going to August, it's a bit weird for him.
Yeah,
and it's like,
dude, it's so good. Okay, I'll be right back. I got to do something, but I have a lot to say about that. That's an interesting dynamic of where he goes with that. I'll be right back.
Okay, right. But yeah, so like I was saying, it's very interesting of how he goes into August. The first thing is like, like he's shaken up a little bit because he's not supposed to be there.
Yeah,
and they do scans and all these things, and then the officer's just asking him, like, "Oh, are you okay?"
Asking all this question. He's playing it off as well as he can. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, and I think that was really cool that they implemented that in. But then obviously over the period, you could see that.
And then when Rick Flag Jr. walks up to him, I mean, that's like a pure, just like, oh shit, it's an oh shit moment because he's just face to face with somebody that he killed, and then it's and of course it's one of those things for the audience is like, ooh, oh buddy, watch out. So that's also a good moment. Then of course starts talking to Harcourt, and they're doing their kind of flirty thing, and then of course Rick Flag is tripping on himself and doing all that, which is a funny scene,
Yeah. And then it leans into that moment of saving the world, basically.
Yeah.
Which it leads into that, and I'm just like thinking, that's the most badass scene I've seen in Peacemaker so far, right? John Cena jumping through the window, taking out these thugs in a hostage.
Oh yeah, he F's them up, man. I mean, this is after he's embracing best dimension ever, and everybody's like cheering him and everything. Although people started going, wait a minute, there's something very interesting of what is going on in the background, and why is everybody a certain race? So they're already. That's what was kind of cool because, and Gunn and nobody has talked about it. They're not talking about it on the podcast or nothing. They know, but you're like going, wait a minute, this dimension, there's already there's hints.
We did talk about this on Ronin.
Yeah,
I mentioned this. Something was not right, and I said this to him, and I was like,
"It's like, wait, there's a bunch of white people around."
Yeah, and the helicopter exploding.
Yeah,
no saving people.
And what's weird is that like the first time around, I'm happy, even though I know it's effed up, but I'm happy for Chris. He's getting the love. Yeah. The little kid starts crying, "I love you, Peacemaker." He gets flashed and whatnot. He gets a kick out of that. And I'm seeing all this, and I'm like, I'm so happy for him, but I want to be like, dude, this isn't earned.
Yeah.
And then I went back, and it was a full like Rick Deckard Blade Runner moment. I was just like, enhance, and I'm like, wait a minute. I'm not noticing anything, and I'm like, is James pulling like almost like a Twilight Zone episode in this? And I would not be surprised if during the last episode of the season in the podcast, he goes, "Damn, I didn't expect people to." He knew his fans are smart, He's a guy. He probably thinks he wished people caught on to that until episode 5 and not episode 3. But he's like, fuck, people are good. They're spotting stuff that I probably hide. And then again, one thing we brought up, and I don't know if you guys brought it up there yet, but like the notion that like, what if Chris, in doing his John Wick moment, he killed the people who are trying to fix things in this world that potentially might be bad, and it's almost like a poetic cynicry with what happens in the Suicide Squad, where they go into the jungle, they kill the Corto Maltese resistance, and it's like, did we just kill all the good guys that we're supposed to be working with? And it's just like madness.
Happening
Yes.
again.
Yeah. So by the way, I just want to mention, say hello to Phil. Phil's in the chat.
What's up, Phil?
Hey, Felipe.
Felipe, welcome. But yeah, so honestly, I think this episode is a strong 9 out of 10.
Yeah, and then they have that. Yeah, it was a bit. Yeah, there's, and even when they go out into little courtyard right there, and they're sitting on the bench, and all of a sudden like a bomb just goes off, and the way that they shot that, I was like, Jesus.
Yeah.
I mean, that looked. I mean, it was. I mean, obviously it cuts to like the shot behind them, and they fall back. So I don't know. But I was hearing that she and John Cena mainly did their own stunts. So I think they actually got the blast in the face. Obviously, it wasn't like, anything, but yeah, but you get that shot in between them and their hair just goes like that. Then it cuts to the other shot and they fly back. And I'm pretty sure it's both of them, both times, not stunt people, especially not for John Cena. John Cena's done so much in the fucking ring. That dude, he knows how to fall. He knows how to get hit.
He knows to take bumps.
Yeah, he knows that. So yeah,
I can't imagine James Gunn if that was Jennifer Holland on that bench when it goes off.
Oh yeah,
I can't imagine James Gunn just shitting his pants. Like, am I about to put my wife in danger?
Yeah. She probably was down. She was probably wanting to do it. She was like, "Fuck it,"
Yeah, she did the bar thing. Yeah, she's like, I want to be in that
scene,
blast song.
Yeah, that bar scene in was episode 1, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Bar scene, she kicks everybody's ass. I mean, apparently, she did, I guess, most or all of it.
Yeah, apparently she earned her stripes with the stunt crew there, and it's just like, wow, she really went full out on that one, which I'm happy for her. She's always been Mr. Gunn. I'm saying this respectively and looking respectively. She's always looked good.
Oh yeah,
but like this season, you could tell she was like, let me take a page out of Linda Hamilton from T2. Let me take a little page out of that and see what I can do with it. And like you could tell, like, good job on you, Jennifer. Like it's noticeable. Yeah, yeah.
She literally mentioned that on Brandon Davis's podcast this week. Actually, talking about she bulked up for this season. So I was just like, wow, that's really
shows. Definitely shows.
Yeah, but when it comes down to like the final bits of the episode of episode 3, it really interests me to like, where does episode 4 take? But when it jumps into episode 4, I did get a bit of a disheartened for it.
Yeah.
Like, go on, Ronin.
I was gonna say that like when that last scene happened between Chris and his brother, again, you guys I've told you how much a sucker I am for brother stuff. Like it really was breaking my heart. Like I was just like, oh my gosh, his brother means it, but Chris is holding back on him. And then again, if James is saying 6 and 7 and 8 is balls to the walls, it's gonna be a double heartbreak of like, oh wow, my family's not what I thought they were, and yet I can't not feel something for them now, especially the way his dad, the dynamic with him and Augie, and just man, it was like it's silly and it's a very brother thing, but the whole pop quiz thing at the beginning of episode 3, and then calling Rick Jarhead, even though he's Army and not Marines or Navy, if you will. It was just, and kudos on the casting as well, just phenomenal casting. I think.
I agree with you. It's phenomenal casting, great idea from James, and definitely James is living up to his expectations for the DCU. That's for sure. When it comes down to this stuff, he knows.
What are you talking about? The WB is getting bought out, and they're gonna get rid of him.
Oh no, don't
I
bring
know.
up this. Yeah, I
Oh my
know.
god, dude! I don't know how many times I see that. I'm going, okay, whoever buys them out, they ain't one of the part of the reason why they're buying them out is because they're seeing that the DC product is kind of heading in a good direction. It's in a positive direction as
They
opposed to the
have to
past
fuck it up.
decade. Yeah. So no way
But
that
yeah,
they're gonna get
I agree with you, Tala. But also, and I think I don't know how you feel about this, Dave. But like these past three projects are good. I have my favorites. Commandos is still my favorite one thus far. Um, but I think the real test on this studio, and again, the momentum is good right now. You know, even
Yes.
for those who are like not fulfilling it, the momentum is good. This is and momentum goes a long way, especially now when there's so much with social media and how much people's attention span is just running amok. That the momentum is good. What I think what's going to be really critical, and I feel bad for the projects because they're trying to just do their own thing, but they're part of a universe. Is if Supergirl hits her stride, if Lantern hits its stride, if Clayface hits its stride, if all those three projects where James is the head of the studio, but he's not touched, a finger on the pages. I mean, maybe he's read them and all that stuff, but like again, if his presence isn't fully felt, and it actually shows the potential of all these corners in the DC universe, that's when, you know, DC Warner Brothers and whoever potentially might buy them has to, put their money with the mouth. They're like, yo, this is working. Do you really want to mess it up after all these years of like so much, you know, in my opinion, senseless bickering and in my heart, like these characters and these worlds suffering the most, and the fans having to deal with all this nonsense because we don't live in a vacuum. So
yeah.
I'm hoping that the next projects hit their stride, and like I said, momentum is good right now. I think.
For
No,
sure.
you're. I mean, I've been saying that too. Where it's going to be interesting to see the general audience reaction and then just people's reactions in general. Even like people who don't like James Gunn. It's like, hey, you got 3 projects next year. It's not going to be a James Gunn flavor. It's just in the same universe. It's all these other people doing it. So it is going to be interesting to see people's reactions to that.
Yeah, definitely. But bringing it back to episode 4, what do you guys? Well, Ronan, obviously, I know Ronan because Ronan said about episode 4 on his channel. But I want to hear your thoughts, Dave, on episode 4.
Episode 4. How did it start off again? I'm trying to remember how episode 4 started.
Chris gets back to his own dimension,
Yeah.
and John gives him like almost a heads up.
I remember how it
And
started. It started off with the opening of when they were kids and they find
Yes.
the
alien.
device and they find the alien and that poor sucker, like, man, you feel bad for that little guy. He was all freaking crying and stuff, and then he just blows him away. And then they find the doorway thing. So yeah, and then Judo Master was at the end of the episode 3, right? Or yeah, it was the end of episode 3 where he was in the van.
Yeah.
And,
Hey, fatty, or whatever he tells John.
Hey, fatty.
Another character we haven't talked about is Miss Bordeaux. She's kind of been a nice little, Sasha Bordeaux. She's been a nice little added character, nice little badass. Another, I mean, in all respect, nice eye candy to look at, besides Harcourt. But
Latinos, man, Latinos.
I'm just saying.
Roland's got things for Latinos, so I'm just putting that out there.
I'm right there with him. With him. When I saw that she got cast, I was like, oh. And when I heard what her character was, I went, oh. So very interesting things with her character for sure. But so it starts off with so we get that little backstory, which is good. And then of course we do get that Judo Master and Chris like little kind of scene where that little shit, that guy is just he's just jumping all over. I mean, my God, just crazy little guy. But good episode. But but like again, it was like, okay, well, it wasn't. I think episode 3 was obviously stronger just because of everything that happened with it. But it's still a good episode. It still moves things along, and you're kind of going, oh. And then when they and then of course in episode 3 we got the Eagly effing guys up, so that's why. I mean, again, episode 3 was just really strong. But yeah, episode 4 is still a good one too.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you. Episode 4 was good to a point, but it wasn't as good as episode 3 in my opinion. So I mean, Ronan knows that, and he knows what I gave the score. So it was like
Yeah,
7 and 8. Yeah,
I've said that there hasn't been a bad episode this season thus far, in my opinion. It's
No.
just that I could definitely feel the momentum, not even dip. It's just that the momentum built up from 1, 2, and 3, and then it just
Yeah.
stayed consistent right there, a little bit less than 3, but like it didn't dip bad. And when I just, but I do think that episode 4 is my least favorite of the season thus far. Um, but again, you start seeing almost, and I don't blame it on the characters or the actors, but like I'm really appreciating that even though these episodes are my least favorite thus far, and we get introduced to Michael Rooker's character, Red,
Yeah.
but
yeah,
you could tell that like Leota, John are building their own bone, and right up to this point now, in this episode and the next one, John is not taking shit anymore. He's been getting the whole ginger beer throughout the whole episodes. Temiato's on his back. Sasha's not taking crap from anybody. Rick Flag doesn't trust John. So it's an interesting episode. Again, kudos to the stunt team. That fight between Chris and Judo Master in the forest.
Just
I
crazy.
saw a lot of that stuff, and it's just like, I'm so happy for the stunt people, but I'm really hoping nobody injured themselves.
that makes sense. That makes sense for sure. But I like I said, I think what's interesting is Michael Rooker's character.
Yeah.
The introduction.
What
of
do you call him? Like chief appropriation or Mr. Appropriation or something like that. I
Yeah.
yeah. Called it. Episode 4 was a big Economos episode.
Yeah.
And he had, I mean, in a lot, pretty much the lines that were coming out of his mouth were pretty fucking fun. I even saw people who were never really liking his character. I saw somebody, what's her name, that has a YouTube channel. She goes, "This is the first time I actually laughed at something that Economos said." I was like, "Oh wow." So in episode 4 of it, and it showed, because I hadn't watched it yet, and I saw that tweet, and then somebody else agreed with it. And I went, "Oh, interesting." And then I watched it. I'm like, "Oh yeah, this is like a heavy Economos episode." And he is saying some funny shit. But obviously, like that dude's hunting eagly, and he freaking finds like a little dried poop, and he's like eating it like a chip.
Yeah.
Fucking gross.
Four is when we're on their way in the truck, right?
Yeah,
And
that's
that,
the
like,
one. That's the one where the Bulbasaur reference was made.
and when he tells on Timiatos to Sasha Bertoli, he's like, "Oh yeah, he winked at me by talking about you." I'm like, "What the fuck did you wink about me?" It's like, "No, I didn't. It's a Midwest thing." And it's like, "I'll take a polygraph. I don't give a shit." I love that. That was a good one of just like the banter between them, and then Rooker character be like, "Did you hit this little Chinaman?" He's like, "He's Vietnamese. He told you he's Vietnamese." Just like,
Yeah, it's funny stuff.
It's some great stuff, great comedy for sure.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's there. It's there. The comedy hits for me.
Yeah.
But like I said, there was action, but there's not much of John Cena action, but eagerly action. I was just like, yeah, I can see why James Gunn did that. But definitely about 7 or an 8 for sure.
Yeah.
Like what would you guys
Yeah,
give it?
about like a 7.6.
Okay.
yeah, I go solid 7, maybe 7.5. Like, again, liked it, but previous episodes are stronger. But again, and I give kudos to films and TV shows with this. That even when I have least favorite episodes, each of those have something I will go back to. Like I said, the whole bit in the van of like going on one another banter, and you see John and I forget the character, the actor named Neot Lee or whatever his name is, who plays Judo Master, just going toe to toe. Like even it being my least favorite episode, there's stuff that I dug about it, and that helps. But what I hope is going to be the momentum going up by 6 and 7, 8, which will lead us right now into episode 5.
So going into episode 5, I thought this was really cool. I really dug this latest episode.
Yeah.
Like, you jump in and it's an ambush. The ambush from Argus to take down Peacemaker. And it's all to do with Amelia Harcourt setting it up from the last episode.
Yeah, because obviously she can't get a job at any organization, but then, Rick Flag Sr. showing up at her place and saying like, hey, there's a chance you can get back on the good graces if you bring in Peacemaker. And that's like, she's putting an ultimatum, basically like she doesn't want to do it, but what else is she going to do with her life if she can't, so she kind of has no choice. And so she's kind of playing into it, but wants to make sure that he doesn't get killed kind of thing. So even though she's going to turn him in to help her situation, she also knows that Senior is going to probably just kill him, so, and she does not want that. But that scene and I was talking about this last night, as much as Chris is a dummy, he knew very well. He was like going around, and you see Judo Master with his sniper rep, and he's just going around and petting the dogs and getting in front of people because he just knows, like, oh, there's probably going to be like a rifle on me, and it's comedic as well. It almost feels like a Naked Gun bit or something where he's just like going through and getting in, but it just shows how. And he walks up right to Hardcore and just takes the microphone off. He knew exactly where it was, and I was like, see, he's not that stupid.
Yeah, like again, I've told the boys this, but like I never thought seeing Peacemaker with tight pants running in the park playing soccer would make me laugh out loud.
Yeah.
When I go back and watch that moment. It's fucking ridiculous, but I love it. But yeah, he's not dummy. And again, it's a build up character stuff. And you said it good, Dave, with that whole thing of episode 4 where like Rick visits the house, and he's also not dummy too. He's noticing the photos with them, which I think does break his heart. With how we see now how they both talked about stuff in the funeral for Rick Flag Jr. And
oh yeah, that's how it starts off. That's how I was trying to remember how the episode started. It starts on Junior's funeral. Yeah,
funeral, and you see how much like that leads up. And again, I love when a show has perspectives and both sides have valid points. Like to me, the whole thing was in episode 4 was when Emilia tells him, yeah, he killed your son, but he was ordered by Waller. And again, a rebuttal from him being like, yeah, and we all did shady stuff for her. I had to pull away Piccolo saying you had to do it, and Rick Jr. had to do it in Corto Maltese. We all had to follow her orders, but we all stopped up to a point when it went too far. And it's like how can you argue with that? And again, one of the most a part that really got me also, which leads up to the pin down, was the look John gives Emilia of like, you just sold him out. You just sold him out just to get your fucking job back. That look was so everything. And again, people say, why is he going back? He's going back even though he knows he might get pinned down because he cares about Emilia. Like to him, this is the risk worth it. And he knows as soon as he finds out that Senior is keeping eyes on him, that does he know that I killed his son? He knows that's inevitable. Whether he's alive or dead, he's gonna have to meet up Senior at one point or another. Yeah. Which, again, that's a great port scene in the park with between Emilia and Chris.
And then the fact that she just decides to take it upon herself to jump. What were those soldiers or whatever? She decides to kick all their asses and then get him in a chokehold to get him passed out because it's like, oh, you're going to get killed if I don't take charge and knock you out first. So that was pretty cool. So it just shows her struggle that she's been going through, and especially, and I think that, again, why the writing's better in the second season is because of the tie-in to the Rick Flag Jr. stuff, because they're doing a good job of these openings of the episodes showing flashbacks, and then how that affects the present day of what we see in the episode.
Yeah, sure. Thanks. Actual character stakes, not plot stakes.
What?
It's about foreign concept.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's that notion of just like, do you care about the people? Are you willing to spend time every day to follow them and just hope they get their shit together? And even her line, no, none of that shit I cared about. It was a mistake. And like you could read it through, and even when he asked, was there something between you and Rick Flag Jr., which I was like, oh fuck. he has suspected so much already, and it's just like I get it. The I get it was also earned. Of like, wow, who knows if at the beginning of season one or maybe even midway through season one, if Chris would have said that, if he would have actually genuinely felt that.
But you know what's also interesting is that when she took the TikTok, she actually struggled to do it.
No, really. Oh wow.
Yeah.
You really saw the struggle, the actor. Yeah, when she was trying. Yeah, I mean, he's a big dude, you know.
He's a big
But
Johnson
at the
is a
same
big
time,
dude.
yeah. But at the same time, I think he's talking about like struggle as in. I don't know if you mean like struggle as if she was like struggling because it was hard, or struggling because she didn't want to do it. I don't know if it was like an acting thing, but like I said, Jennifer Holland has a lot of things that she's doing this season, a lot more than previous stuff. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's for sure. But
Yeah.
I really think though, like this episode fully focused on August side of things,
Mhm.
and I felt that Rick Flag Senior, my God, this guy
Yeah.
is going
Oh,
all over the
dude, the
place.
fight, in the interrogation room, that was
Yeah,
brutal when he's just beating the. I mean, that last little freaking knee to the head again, John Cena, and that looked like it was not a stunt, dude. It was. I don't
That
even.
looked real.
It
it
looked
looked
That
real.
looked
real.
real.
I was like going, I don't know how they shot that, but that thing was just like boom, and then he just hits the back of the wall, and people were like had it in gifs in like slow motion and even like the freeze frame. I saw like people were posting that, and they're just like, it just the knee is just right there. I mean, like, good God. I mean, I'm like going, hey, John he's felt worse in the ring, so.
Yeah, I heard some people hoping that it was a dummy. And it's like, I don't know if it is. It's a dummy that looks too good, but I'm just like, yeah. And again, the buildup of like Sasha Bordeaux, we finally see him with a cybernetic guy. And it's like, oh
Yeah,
shit, they're going the full cyborg thing.
they're doing the cyber. Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah, and
Just made her
it's
hotter.
just dread.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I'm
Yeah.
just like wondering how the hell does Rick Flag get around with her? Like I'm just like thinking,
Bro, the flags, man, it's in the DNA. Both of them. I said it, they're swinging dicks. Like,
Yeah,
and
they
again,
are.
they're just
I
getting
mean-
into trouble the whole time.
Those two
I mean,
just be
Rick-
laying pipe everywhere, man.
I mean, Rick Flag Senior went from Creature Commandos, where he did a Creature Commandos with the princess, to Cyborg now. Next thing you know, he'll try to go with Wonder Woman. Who knows?
Wouldn't be surprised if anybody can. Yeah,
I don't blame him.
yeah, I wouldn't blame him either. You know.
But getting close to the ending of the episode, I really thought what was cool is that Peacemaker leaving the message that, look, I'm leaving everything behind. You guys got each other back. I can't deal with this. There's so much. I tried. You guys basically threw it back in my face, type of thing. And I was just like, I kind of get what you're saying, but you felt bad for Vigilante because he was crying his tears out.
Yeah, that was good, and that was a good scene between him and sorry, what's her name again?
Leora de Bayo.
Yeah, she kind of was like embracing him, and so yeah, that was like kind of like a little, and then of course they find obviously so when we get to past everything and all that stuff after he gets away, and good on Economos for the scene where he actually like submits him to be arrested and everything. So then he's on the books. So then Rick Flag can't just be like, oh no, we couldn't find, we killed him in the field, as opposed to just, because that's exactly what he was most likely going to do, is just take him somewhere and just kill him. But now that he was on the books, and that was actually, and I like how Tim Meadows' character was like, that was a good job. Like he's starting to kind of come around and be on their side of things, So it was a cool little moment.
The first non-bit out of his character, and I was like, wow, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Genuine moment that like looked like, okay, he knows that they might cross a line.
Yeah.
And he doesn't want that line to be crossed and whatnot. Yeah. I don't, and again, we go back to that decision Chris does, but you look at what his friends are being put up to, and again, I like it when a comedic moment feels earned, where it's John confronting Emilia, be like, what did you do? And her being like, did you just poke at me? And like, why'd you do it to him? And it's like, I had to save him. He wouldn't listen to me. And you see what they put themselves through. You see what Leota's been trying to do on her own, and yet trying to keep the family together. When we get to that moment where he does finally decide to be like, he's had enough. He's too desperate now, especially after that great I think it was last episode, maybe even this one. Might have been the last one of this one that like Leota gives him the speech of like, even as green as the grass looks, like you have to appreciate what you have now, and that's the best satisfaction that you know you've been through stuff, but you can't on top of it. You didn't just pull a cop out by going to another dimension, but sadly he does go. And I don't know about you guys, but like I kudos to Freddie Stroma. I like him as Vigilante and Adrian. That was an emotional scene. But one of my nitpicks this season is that like he's been the one character that feels the most left out. And when I mean left out, not even that just like screen time, but like all I know of this season is he likes trivia, especially with birds, and he's very eager to meet his other dimension counterpart. That's all I know about him, and I wish we had taken away. And I love Eagly. I wish we'd have dialed back on the Eagly and read Michael Rooker's character stuff to give Vigilante more stuff. Like, okay, why is he so eager to meet his counterpart? Why? How is he feeling about this stuff? Yeah, which I hope.
I think he's gonna have some shining moments, kind of like in the first season when he beats the shit out of those white supremacist dudes in the prison.
In the prison, yeah.
I think he's gonna have one of the. I'm willing to bet in one of these next 3 episodes he's gonna have his big moment to shine, and it might be something to do with his alternate self, which is gonna be very interesting to see.
Yeah, for sure. Like I think I'm excited for the next 3 episodes.
Oh yeah,
because obviously James has said episode 6 and 8 is the one to watch out for.
But he didn't even show them the people. He didn't show them. He said not many people saw those finished episodes, and when they sent out screeners to all media screeners, they only got the first 5. They didn't get the last 3 because because there's so much shit that's going to be happening. Appearances of characters and even Jennifer Holland on Davis's podcast said, "Oh yeah, there's going to be some serious like moments that happen in these last 3 episodes." So I don't think we've seen anything yet.
I think it's going to be really interesting of which cameo makes an appearance in the final appearance.
I think Lex Luthor is going to be in it because we already saw there's like in one of the trailers, Rick Flag goes, "I'm going to Belle Reve to visit." So I'm like, he's going to see Luthor. I just have this feeling. And then I have a feeling we'll see somebody else that's in there, like another character, maybe a couple other characters.
I'm really praying to God that they got Indira Varma and be like, Indira, we just need you for a day. Come and put the makeup for the bride. That way we see live action Creature Commandos. I would flip the fuck out. I'd be like, holy shit. I would not be
surprised if that happens,
Oh, maybe we can get Waller. Maybe we even get Waller.
I think we'll get Waller, and then there's a suspicion that Bloodsport Idris Elba might show up, which I wouldn't. Gunn has said he's always looked for an opportunity to bring Bloodsport back, so could be him. I think we're going to see Superman maybe in some form because Peacemaker was in Superman, so they were filming at the same time. It was probably a very easy thing to do. I don't think it's going to be anything too crazy, but I just have a feeling there's going to be something. There's got to be something, right?
Yeah.
So, again, I don't need 10 out of 10 episodes, but like if you're hyping these up, I don't want you to oversell it, and I don't want you to because if these 3 episodes don't hit or at least land the plane for a story, people are just going to be picking at these last 3 episodes and ignore the journey of these characters. So I hope it delivers for their sake, but I think it's too rich of a universe to be like, all right, this is a very weird and specific corner of the DCU, but there's nothing wrong with just saluting one another through different corners of this planet, this world.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. But I wanted to ask you guys, what would you rate episode 5 out of 10?
I would say it's a solid 8.
Solid 8? Okay.
I agree. It's better than episode 4.
Yeah.
There's a lot of juice in it that I think makes it even better than episode 2 and maybe 1.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's up there. Like again, that fight, the moment between Emilia and John, the new spark between Sasha and Flag. That's an interesting take, and how just seeing that last scene, how it, hearing the letter being read affects the crew, and they're like, all right, we're gonna go get him. Fuck it, we gotta go get him. Makes it strong, and hopefully it's a good jumping off point for the next last 3 episodes of the series. So I would go 8 out of 10.
Okay, I think it's an 8.5 for me.
Okay.
Just because of Sasha Bordeaux's character, right? Like just because Sol Rodriguez sold it on me, right?
Oh yeah.
She sold it as Sasha Bordeaux and the cybernetic stuff. I was thought that was very cool visually, and I thought it was really interesting to see the Argus side of things, and how intense that is. So I thought that was pretty cool. But that is the first 5 episodes, guys, that we broke down and reviewed. And honestly, guys, you got to stay tuned for episodes 6, 7, and 8, where I'm gonna have where I'm gonna bring on my co-host for that episode, as we're gonna be discussing that with her, and she's agreed to do that. So I can't wait to discuss that with her for 6, 7, and 8. But I would like to say thank you to Ronin, Unchained, and Dave, the Film Junkee, for coming on the channel tonight.
Mhm.
And it was an absolute pleasure to talk Peacemaker with you guys. I was not expecting this to be a really good thing to discuss, but I just did it, and I was just like, I wanted to talk about it, and I wanted to get people's opinions on the show, and have a difference of opinion. So it's not the same sort of opinion, so people can.
Yeah.
So I'd like to put that stuff out there for my channel. So
This was awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Dave, it's a pleasure meeting you, man. Like,
Yeah, nice meeting you
and-
too, man. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
and-
follow you on Twitter and
Same.
we'll connect. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Talani,
so-
we finally made it happen. After all these
Yeah.
weeks, we finally made it happen.
after all these weeks, we finally made it happen for sure. So we're gonna do the outro. I'm gonna let you guys promote yourselves. So firstly, Ronan, where can they find you? What you got coming up on your channel? And also let them know about all the good things you do.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, you can follow me at Ronin Unchained on YouTube.
Sorry. There we go.
At Ronin Unchained on YouTube on all the socials. I got coverage for Alien Earth, Peacemaker, obviously. I think later down the year we're gonna be doing stuff for Fallout. Don't be surprised if you see me covering stuff for Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein or Wake Up Dead Man. I might be doing some more stuff with anime and gaming, so be on the lookout. If you're into a lot of this pop culture stuff, whether it's Marvel, DC, Star Wars, Invincible, manga, anime, you want to tune into. There's a lot of iron in the fire I have.
Awesome, guys. Make sure you do check out Ronan Unchained on YouTube, on all socials. Please go support his content, guys.
And you can find me and Taladia on Party Nation, on Nerdcast, and on Council Creators every Wednesday.
Tuesday and Wednesday, that's for sure. Dave, where can they find you and what you got coming up on your channel? And also let them know all about the good stuff you do, man.
Just type in the Film Junkee, you'll find it. I got, I do Film Junkee live Monday and Wednesday. I do the Vodka stream on Friday, where invite people onto the panel, and we have discussions and everything. And daily videos. I'm always clipping stuff out of my streams to have individual videos. So constantly hard to keep up sometimes when there just seems like there's just stuff that you just want to cover, little things here and there. So yeah, just go to that channel, find all the stuff, and that's pretty much it.
Okay, cool. As for me, guys, you can check me out on YouTube at Taladia Plays, which you guys know, and on X at Taladia Plays _. There's a link tree in the description. There's a link tree in the description where you guys can check out my, all my socials, from my TikTok to my Twitch to all that stuff that I have. I will be posting a lot more content, including 007 First Light content, and of course the Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight content, because there has been some stuff that dropped today, so I'm probably gonna make a video about it, discussing about that.
That's right. It's Batman Day. Happy Batman Day to
I know, right?
Yeah.
I know. I was like, shit, I should have worn a Batman shirt. Didn't even totally think. I went Martian Manhunter instead. Hey, whatever.
It's still
It's DC.
It's still DC.
Still kept it in the same. Yeah.
Yeah, so everyone, I'd like to say thank you to Hero's Journey, myself on comics, Tevia. Thank you all for all of you guys coming in. And we will see you guys next time for some more exciting content on the channel. So let me just go to that. So we'll see you guys next time, and like, comment, favorite, and subscribe. We'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye, everyone.